Yeah. Look, after we get out of winter, whatever, April, May, June, doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Got a piece of technology starting here, so we're just waiting for that.
AI late for work.
Okay, all right, thank you. It is 9:02. I'm going to call the meeting to order. If you have your cell phones, please mute them for the meeting. Becky, will you do roll call?
I sure will. Jack Scrogstead.
Oh, thank you.
Jack Scrogstead.
Here.
Allie Huss.
Here.
Dean Friel.
Here.
Katie White.
Here.
Ron Gascoigne.
Here.
Reed Acree.
Here. Okay, all right. Do we have any public attendees? Okay, Greg, I see you're here. We have a copy of your report, but if you'd like to speak on it, that'd be great.
I thought I would share some good news because I know that over the past several years, my reports have indicated that we are in the process of pursuing vehicles. And it looks as though that vehicles are in our near future. Potentially up to 6 is what we will have a contract for, a couple of minivans. And then 4, what I would say is probably light duty, medium duty vehicles, buses that will carry up to 14 passengers. So as soon as we get one piece of paper to them, it looks as though that we might have a contract by the end of the end of this week, I'll say, which means delivery might be within the next, I'm hoping a month or so. If not sooner, I'd be happy with that, but they are in the future. And one of the other big items on our agenda right now is budget contracts with IDOT for the next fiscal year. So yeah, we're about halfway through. We're a little more through the current fiscal year, state fiscal year 2025, but we'll be working on the contract for FY26 and submitting that by April 1st. Other than that, if there's any questions.
Any questions for Greg? All right, thank you, Greg, as always.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I see we have somebody on the back. Is there anything you want to say? You're just hanging out to watch us all, huh? Okay, all right. Any board members got anything to say today? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just ask all the board members to please, before our meeting next week, to please take time to look at the minutes if you don't watch the videos from the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting last Thursday night. There's 3 issues we're going to vote on. Two of them are pretty straightforward. One of them appears to be very controversial, and I would appreciate that just everybody take time to look at it before we vote and make your own judgment. But I think you'll appreciate that you took time to look at it if you do. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was going to reiterate that when we get to that particular issue. So anybody else? Okay. All right. Approval of the minutes. If everyone's had a chance to take a look at the minutes, if there's any corrections that need to be made, please speak now or forever. Okay. All right. No changes. So the minutes will be stand as presented. Transportation, David, would you like to walk us through the committee through your report, please? Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so got a number of different board action items listed here. Before we get into that, just let you know we've been busy working on getting all our projects assembled and bid out. We'll be doing that for the next few months here. And also been doing our routine bridge inspections. So been fairly busy time. And then, of course, the kind of the obvious road maintenance stuff we've been doing, and we have had a lot of time to do some repairs and maintenance on our equipment as well. But before we get into those action items, one of those would be to award the bids that we had last Friday. And what you have in your packet is really an abbreviated version of the bid tabulations. And so I'd just like to walk you through quickly on our website where you can find the actual bid tabulations that give all the unit prices and such in detail, so that, you know, when I say, hey, the bid's on Friday, your meeting's on Tuesday, here's the table with the bids to award. If you have any desire to check out the details, you kind of know exactly what to go and what you're looking for. So you've got the website up there, Jeremy. So you would navigate to the highway department. And under that, at the blue tab on the left there, you've got bids and bid results. And go to, I can't see it super well, go to the seal coat bid tab. There you go. So there's probably about 20 different townships that we bid out seal coat for. You can see listed there the contractors that bid, their unit prices they bid, the total, and then who had the low bid. So you can check all that out on all the various projects, but that's how you get there, and that's somewhat what it looks like. Depending on the job, those bid tabs will look a little different, but that's how you get there. Just wanted to make sure you knew where to exactly find that information and get the details if you wanted to. So with that said, I'll just go over the board action items really quickly. We've got 2 joint funding agreements. That's with federal funds. One is for that cold in place recycling hot mix overlay on Perry Road from 251 basically into the railroad tracks in Stewart. Then we also have the Brooklyn Road Bridge. We've got that one. I will say on that one, with some degree of certainty, that in about 7 months, we will probably amend that agreement. Not quite enough money in there. You have to program these funds sometimes a couple years ahead of time and program the funds. And then when we came and did the actual estimate, once we got all of our quantities nailed down here just recently, it's probably going to be more than we programmed, but not a huge deal. If we approve this now, that allows us to get this project a letting and get going on everything, get a contract going, and we'll just amend the agreement for an increased amount probably about 7 months from now. Just wanted to make you aware of that. And then there's the text amendment. I think I put resolution down, but it's actually ordinance. So that'll just get, moved on to executive for inclusion of the board for layover. So any questions on any of that? That's about it.
Anything? Well, I appreciate the lesson on where to find these bids. That also helps the citizens also to have that opportunity.
Right. And we typically we try to get those up
Right.
around noonish that day. Our lettings are usually at 9. It gives us a little time because we got to go then through all of it, run all the extensions through a spreadsheet, and then get them up on the website. So
Awesome.
try to get up there around noonish that very day. Sometimes there's little glitches here and there. It takes us a little longer, but you can generally expect them afternoon sometime that same day. And that way contractors and everybody have access to it as quickly as possible.
Okay. All right. So let's get the joint funding agreement there. So is there a motion to move the joint funding agreement for federally funded constructions for Perry Road, CR HMA section number 23-00356-00-RS to the executive committee for inclusion on the February county board agenda? First by Dean Frio, second by Ron Gascoigne. Any discussion on this particular thing? Or this particular? All right, no questions, no comments. All those in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, second one, is there a motion to move the joint funding agreement for federally funded construction for Brooklyn Road Bridge Replacement, section number 22-00351-00 BR to the Executive Committee for inclusion on the February County Board agenda, first by Dean Friel, second by Katie White. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same. Motion carried. Number 3, is there a motion to award the bids as presented to the committee, subject to the Highway Commissioner concurrence as applicable and IDOT review? First by Katie White, second by Ally Huss. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same. Motion carried. And I see there's nothing for solid waste. When's electronic come up, by the way?
Yeah, April
All right.
1. I don't know where that falls in the calendar,
Let's
but
see.
kind of
February, March. We got 2 more months.
yeah, a couple months.
All right.
Yeah, and then you also got that ordinance for the text amendment too to move on. That's the, by the way, just a reminder, that is the stormwater management ordinance changes we talked about
Okay.
last month.
So that's coming up under zoning.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
sorry.
So that'll be under. zoning.
Okay. good
Yeah,
enough.
we'll address that. too.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Assessor's Office, Jennifer Boyd, would you like to give the committee your report? Thank you.
Good morning. I did turn in a full report that should be in your packets. I'll just go over some highlights briefly. The Board of Review met this in January, the 21st, 23rd, and 29th to review the appeals that were filed against the 2024 assessment values. This was the first year that we've had Attorney Gary Gelbach sitting on the board with us for participating in the review process. Gary's knowledge of the real estate law, along with his longstanding reputation in the community, is a strong asset for the Board of Review. We really appreciated having him with us this year, along with Lori Urbis's knowledge as a realtor and Cole Olson's farming operations knowledge really has rounded out our Board of Review. And they're well equipped to handle the task of determining the uniformity of assessments among all taxpayers in our taxing district. So it really is a nice balance in our Board of Review right now. There were 74 appeals docketed, total of 75 parcels appeal total. Proposed change notices were emailed and mailed via standard mail this year on Monday, February 3rd. This was the first time that we sent a courtesy copy of the emails, notices by email. This was done to give the taxpayers extra time to schedule their hearings. We've had some complaints the last couple of years. It's a tight turnaround for that mail to be sent out and have time to schedule a hearing if they want to still have a hearing with the board members. So we had emails sent out this year as a courtesy copy also, so people could get called in and schedule those hearings. So far, we've got about 13 hearings scheduled. For the hearing dates are February 18th and February 20th. So I think that process went well. We still mailed out the hard copies, so everybody's going to get informed. We did receive our notice of confirmation from the Department of Revenue this past week, confirming our tentative equalization factor of 1. So it's still tentative. Things can change throughout the Board of Review process, but through the state Department of Revenue, their equalization factor is 1. And what that means is, yes, internally at the supervisor of assessments level, we had to put on equalization factors. And it's been tougher this last couple of years, the factors that we've had to put on, but it's validated that when we get that number 1 from the state, that we did our job and we put those factors on where they're needed, as opposed to the state putting on a blanket factor across the board. So again, we received that notification in the mail. Our office is transitioning from the 2024 to 2025 tax year. So we're wrapping up 24 assessment appeals and getting ready to roll the tax file to the clerk and recorder's office and beginning to work on the 25 general assessment township work, which will be the Dixon and Palmyra townships. In the GIS department, Sammy's here to give you more of the monthly update, but I just wanted to mention that we're going to be meeting with CloudPoint on this coming Wednesday. They're going to demonstrate 2 projects we are hoping to implement in the near future. Coming in the next year, we will be moving away from ArcGIS Desktop version to ArcGIS Pro, as desktop will no longer be supported starting in 2026, which we've known for a long time, but we're going to have to move to the Pro version. Along with that, there will be some other changes that we are excited about that will improve the quality and integrity of our data. Also coming in 2025 is new aerial photography by Eagle View. We're contracted with them every 3 years to update our aerial photography. So the flights will be taking place in April, and we should be receiving the new map layer usually by the fall then. So we're always excited about that, and we'll have the new change finder that will indicate the new and demolished and existing buildings along with that. So that's always exciting time for us. So if nobody has any questions, then I'll turn it over to Sammy.
Any questions for Jennifer? All right, thank you, Jennifer, and I appreciate you doing that second chance for those people and sending out that extra piece of mail.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. It was nice. We have a full staff right now. It was
Yeah.
nice to take that extra time to collect the emails and send out that notice. With the mail moving a little bit slower, it seems like in the last several years, it gives them a little extra time.
Yeah, you get mail all the time and sometimes it just gets put on the back shelf.
Exactly, thrown in with the
No,
junk mail.
no.
Thank you.
So anyway, I appreciate you doing that for the citizens. Okay, Sammy, do you got anything?
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning. For the GS Department report, we have processed the parcel split and combination requests for December 2024, ensuring both accuracy and efficiency. Additionally, we have maintained and updated several GS layers, including land use data and other relevant data sets. We finalized the 2024 zoning changes for the zoning department and uploaded them to Eagle View for easier access. We also updated and uploaded the NG 911 and 911 GS layers, ensuring their integration into our public safety mapping systems. For our ongoing projects, we are currently deploying the special event operation solution for the Dixon Fire Department. The solution is designed to enhance safety planning and improve public safety monitoring during special events. We are also preparing GS data for the City of Dixon to be submitted to their development advisors. Lastly, we are in the process of calculating the annual contribution for new parcels based on the split drainage listing report provided by the clerk's office. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any question for Sammy? No questions. Sammy, thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Jeremy, County Board Administrative Report, what you got?
Lots of fun things going on. What we were stalled on starting this meeting today is we are trying out onboard AI system, which essentially records our meeting and helps Becky work through processing minutes, and it's all in our onboard system. So we'll be able to post those directly to the website. After it does its internal processing, which is pretty cool. So this is the first time we're trying it out in a live meeting. We're going to see what it does. We're going to work through the committee week this week and hopefully also on the board week, and see if it's something that we want to stick with. We are in the process of writing 3 letters of support for different broadband providers as they're working on their BEAD applications. As I reported last month, the state of Illinois has quite a lot of funding that is being pushed towards broadband infrastructure investment, and we're trying to make sure that we're poised to be on the receiving end of that. We finished just yesterday our first round of human resource coordinator interviews. They went very well. Right now, the internal committee is meeting to start working through that process and do a review of all the interviewees and candidates that we've met with already, and then we're going to go with a round 2 moving forward. The position is still posted, and it's going to be posted until filled. So we're pretty excited about that. Any questions?
Any questions?
Actually, I'll have one more thing. In Alice's report, she mentions that we received a BRIC grant. I'm not sure if you remember, but last year we applied for a BRIC grant to establish building codes in Lee County. We did receive notice that we have been awarded that grant. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be a very long process, but we're going to actually have a meeting with them on Thursday to understand what that grant looks like, what the initial phases of that will be, and what the expectations are. So it's going to be an exciting thing.
All right. Could you let me know like when that is? And
Yep.
then I'd like to,
Yeah,
could I be there?
Yep, it's online. I'll send you a link. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
yep.
All right. County Clerk and Recorder, Nancy.
Morning. Couple of updates that's there on your report. The economic interest papers, those lovely yellow pieces of paper, they went out in the mail. We mailed 660 of those. So if you want to get that filled out and drop it off in my election department, they would be more than willing to stamp that for you down there. And then we're in the tax extension process, like you said. Jen gave you an update there. We're waiting on a report from their office so we can move forward with that. And then the biggest update we have is the consolidated election. April 1st is 7 weeks from today. Next week, early voting starts on Thursday. And in 2 weeks from today, we will have our training session for election judges. The old standard, we're still in need of election judges. We've had anywhere between 25 and 30 people have come forward and say they're not going to be here for this election. So we were looking good for that last election, and now, like you said, we're already down 25 to 30 people. So if you know anyone that's interested, we, like I said, have that class here in 2 weeks. We are having that class at the Holloway Center, and there's an early morning and a late morning session. And then I just wanted to give my committee an update on what the future looks like for publication for the election world. Last year, with 2 elections, my department spent almost $9,000 in publication. What that looks like is early voting notifications have to go in the Telegraph. They have to also go in the Amboy News. Early voting, vote by mail, polling locations. So what we're going to try new on this election is we're going to do like a magazine insert that goes one time only in the Telegraph and the Amboy News. It will have all the information in that, and that's going to run approximately $2,000. Normally, this election, we would spend anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000. So I just wanted to let the county board members know that we're going to try this out for the first time. They also will shoot out an email notification to people that get the newspaper online. That's also included in part of that. So we're looking at trying to streamline that and save an awful lot of money because, sure as everyone knows, publication in the newspaper, the prices do nothing but just go up.
Yes.
So I'll keep you posted on how that's going to run. The newspaper is wonderful, the Telegraph here in town. She will be able to then give us a report on how many people actually viewed that. And also, you know, how many people clicked on the email. So there's a lot of information she's going to be able to. Jennifer at the papers, we're working with her. She's wonderful. So, any questions?
And Jaren, we can put something on the Facebook page too as well. And then maybe get some of the board members to share it as well to help get that word out as well. Okay, any other questions? Okay. So let's go to IT, Mr. Gorski. We didn't get your report on the onboard. I got it in your email this morning, but I can forward it to everybody here as well, but we'll have it for the full county board at least. But if you want to go ahead and go through your report.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. Most of the items this month are continue to be operational in terms of retiring old servers, and in doing so, moving people to their data stores to the newer servers. We're doing this in both the recorder's office and in the circuit clerk's office, retiring a couple of servers at each of those areas used and then moving users to new ones. And then also deploying, Jonathan's deploying some new PCs for court staff. And we're anticipating, and maybe Charlie can tell me, any word on that court grant? No word yet? Pending approval, or at least partial approval of court grant, we have some PCs to deploy in the state's attorney's office. And we continue to migrate any existing Windows 10 users to Windows 11 for security concerns as security updates for Windows 10 end this fall. And I don't know why it's a sense of why it makes both Jeremy and Jack laugh, but I'm celebrating 4 years here as your IT director in Lee County, and I want to thank you for that opportunity. My former co-workers at the American Dental Association said, unless if it's just to keep the lights on place, you're not going to be happy. And it's not a keep the lights on place. There's plenty of work to do. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve Lee County. And I want to thank Jonathan and Travis for all of their work and keeping the retirements of old PCs and servers and the deployments of new ones going. And I want to also thank your former county administrator, Wendy Ryerson, and then your current one, Jeremy, on working with me and the board to help establish kind of a regular capital plan for the replacement of computers here. So it's not a knee-jerk reaction to something failing or an immediate need, that we're actually planning and scheduling these things out. And I think it's been working out pretty well the last few years. We're spending more time on proactive, preemptive things than we are kind of like knee-jerk reactions to immediate things. But it still gives us the time to deal with the deployments and installations that elected officials and department heads come to us with assistance on. For example, Jennifer, when she mentions ArcGIS Pro, I'm expecting a call or an email in the next month or so to let me know what that might mean. So, but does anyone have any questions for me at this time?
Any questions for Paul? Thank you, Paul, and for being proactive on some things. So I appreciate that very much.
Thanks.
Okay, Chris Tennyson, ROE.
Thanks, Jack. I know we have a really long report this month because it's a couple of months worth and we're doing a lot of work. So I'll just take a couple of minutes and highlight a few of the things from the report. The first page talks about Vision 2030. If you haven't heard of Vision 2030 yet, there's a website out there, and I certainly can get the board more information if they would like it. But the big organizations in education in Illinois got together about 7-8 months ago. The regional superintendents were at the table, the Association of School Superintendents, Illinois Principals Association, the Association of School Business Officials, and a couple other organizations. And we basically worked on what we want to present to the senators and representatives and what we need to make education better in Illinois and get that done by the year 2030. And the main thing that I'm excited about is there's a big push from all the agencies to recognize that the professional development money that the state of Illinois has been putting out there every year to companies from New York and California and any other state that wants to come in to work with our districts and take all that money and then be gone in a year and never do any follow-ups has not been a wise investment. And the big recommendation in Vision 2030 is that that money starts to flow back to the regional offices of education that are best equipped to do that work with the school districts that they work with day in and day out and know all the people and personnel and will always be there for support. So that's huge for us. If that comes to fruition, that'll mean a lot more steady funding for our office to assist our districts. So I did want to highlight that. On the second page, there's a number of things that our professional development department's involved in that people don't always know about. All of us that have educator licenses, we have to renew that license every 5 years. We have to get so many hours of credit done and show that we've done the professional learning in the state system in order to get our license renewed. And our office is responsible for doing audits on those districts. So this year we've got 10 districts up that our office is working with, going in and making sure that all the PD credits that they've issued to their staff were valid, and that's going very well so far. Did want to mention two other things quickly that we've been working with. There's going to be new statewide professional learning standards implemented in science this year, and we started just last month in January, and we're providing the professional development to 40 science teachers throughout our 3 counties to get them ready and familiar with those standards, and that'll be going on from now through June, and will be a big support for them. And we were awarded another grant that I'm excited about from the Illinois Department of Public Health to promote youth mental health and suicide prevention. That grant is a program, it's a school-based program that will allow people to go in and teach students grades 8 to 12 how to cope with mental health issues and prevent suicide. And we'll be working on that and how we're going to deliver that to the classrooms coming up. I'll have more on that. Did want to mention that we're now partnering with the YMCA and Sterling Township's Elevate Youth Program in Sterling, and we've been providing an after-school program for Chandler Middle School students in Sterling. It's the first time we've done this. It's been from 3 to 5:30 after school, Monday through Thursday. We've been averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 students, probably mostly around 15 students each night, and it's been going very, very well. We've been able to provide some programming for those middle school students, and we're hoping to expand that in the future. And I did mention that it should be soon. We've had a couple delays with funding from the state, but we're hoping within a month or so, those 2 new preschool sites will be up and running here in Dixon. So excited about that. Our numbers are in there as always for our Nexus and Truancy programs. It's amazing how many families they've been helping out. And then a quick blurb on our education outreach program that gets young adults their diplomas from age 17 to 24 if they haven't done it. One of the things that our grant with BEST allows us to do is also get them work experience, and that involves sometimes paying them to go and work with organizations. And if you look at the report this year, we were able to bring in some virtual reality goggles, and they were actually able to do some job experiences. Like one of them, if you look in the pictures, it was the experience of climbing up a cell tower and doing maintenance. I'm actually going to try and check that out because there is no way in heck you're going to get me to climb up a real cell tower. So it was kind of neat for those students to get some experiences, like some on-the-job stuff that they normally wouldn't get. And then just a quick update on our school. We're off and rolling for the second semester. We've had a student leadership council that we started in the fall to meet and talk about how we can make the school better. And now moving into the second semester, we're going to be doing 3 things. There's going to be rewards we're going to be giving out for attendance. We're going to be reinforcing that students show respect for each other and recognizing that. And we're also going to recognize acts of kindness. And I know it's easy to say, why in the heck would we reward students for attendance? But when you get to know our students and some of their families and what they're going through at home, sometimes just getting them to school is a true triumph. So we're going to be recognizing that with some of the students. And then the last thing I want to talk about tomorrow night at the Dixon High School cafeteria, we're going to be hosting a parent workshop, Parent Academy, that we're excited about. It's open to anyone. You can register by going to the link on our website, but we're going to be working with parents on their brain state, help to understand how their emotional state can sometimes affect their child's emotional state and how to better manage their emotions to respond to some of the challenging behaviors they may be getting from their children. So I'm going to start doing more of that, and I'm excited that we're going to be able to provide some more support for parents in our area. But I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Chris? Chris, as always, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Alice is not here, but your report, her report is on the onboard. Okay. Yep. Jared, if you want to go ahead and talk about some of the stuff you're doing, that'd be great. You want to turn on your microphone for me, please? Yep.
Still learning. So I'm currently working with 60 non-compliant properties. And I have, it keeps going up though. So I think just last week I had 5 more.
I think the more people know that you're out there, I think you're going to be giving direction to that.
Yeah, I was at Menards getting plywood, putting it in my trailer, and a guy walked over and said, "Are you that guy?"
You are that guy.
And I said, "Yeah." Well, I said, "It depends."
It depends. Okay.
If you don't like it, my name's Jack.
Thank you.
And,
Jared. Thank you very much.
So I kind of base on things on how they're going as whether you have reports of vandalism to your house, because I give them, the people I'm having problems with or difficulties with, I give them your name. So anyways, so I'm working with 60 currently. It's going pretty good. The last month, I think there's 3 citations pending, 2 were issued. And 2 more properties need me to follow up and make them aware of the violation. I'm not sure whether they got the letter or not, because I didn't hear anything back. If I send a letter or I stop at the place, their place, I don't just assume they received the letter or my card that I left. So I try to make another visit, because they might have been gone or whatever. But outside of that, on building permits, I have 18 active and closed 7 this last month. And as far as abandoned properties, that's new to me. I just received 2 abandoned properties to check on. I think they're local or Dixon area. That's new to me. So I'm going to work on that. I was going to this week. I'm not sure how this situation with the snow is going to go and stuff, but I'll get there.
All right. Well, I appreciate what you're doing for us there, Jared. All right. Any questions for Jared on that? All right. I see we have Alice on Zoom. So Alice, I believe you're going to give your report via Zoom. Maybe? I'm showing her microphone muted. I don't know if that is on her end or our end.
Hi, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Go ahead, Alice. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I don't have my report in front of me. I am in Dallas at a conference this morning. I'm more or less just tuning in case anyone has any questions. We did have a rather controversial zoning hearing this past Thursday. I don't have the petition number in front of me, but the petitioner is Jeff Lewis, and it was regarding a variance. Mr. Lewis came to my office because he was looking to add on to a building, and this addition would have been placed within the setbacks where he cannot build. Looking at his property, he does have some things going on within the property, such as a floodplain and a floodway. And when you look at our code does allow somebody to petition for a variance in situations of exceptional topographical conditions. So this is what Mr. Lewis petitioned under, and this went through hearing, and ultimately it ended in a tie vote from the ZBA. Now this goes forward, my understanding, with a negative. It goes forward without a recommendation for approval from the ZBA, and therefore, according to the state statute, it will force a supermajority vote at the county board level. Does anyone have any questions about this specific petition?
I'm just going to reiterate, and Mr. Kitson also did this too, for everyone on this board, and I'm going to have in every committee to take a look at that YouTube video of that hearing, so that way everyone could have an idea what they're voting for, because you can't really get an idea until you actually listen to the actual hearing on what's going on. So I'm going to encourage everyone to take a look at that YouTube video of that hearing, so that you can look at because I believe you have the topical of the zone, and I believe there were some questions asked by an attorney to Mr. Lewis and whatnot. So I think it's important that everyone takes a look at that. So I'm gonna ask all the chairmans to maybe bring up that and just have everyone do it, so that way come county board time, people have at least, were told to look at it. Would you agree with that, Alice?
Absolutely. It's kind of a tricky issue in that this is, our code does allow for it, but after hearing the evidence, the ZBA found that he did not prove that he had exceptional topographical conditions. So the process is what it is. The code does allow this, and now the county is making the determination that this does not meet exceptional topographical conditions. So we are responding to that petition in that way.
Okay. Does anybody got any questions for Alice on this before we go into moving these to the executive committee? No? Thank you, Alice. Enjoy your conference.
Oh, I'm not done yet. We have
Oh, okay.
another
Sorry.
petition for text amendment that is going to be sent to the planning commission. So when you get to that, there might be some discussion revolving around that. So I'll
Okay.
be available for that.
All right, good enough. So let's do these until we get to the text amendment there then. All right, so there's one petition going to the zoning board of appeals. Petition, is there a motion to move petition number 25P 1638 to the executive committee for inclusion on the county board agenda? First by Ron Gascoigne, second by Dean Friel. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same motion carried. There are 4 petitions coming from the zoning board of appeals. Is there a motion to move petition number 24P 1632 with the corresponding resolution to the executive committee for inclusion on the February county board agenda? First by Ron Gascoigne, seconded by Dean Friel. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Is there a motion to move petition number 24P 1635 with the corresponding resolution to executive committee for inclusion on a county board agenda? First by Dean Friel, second by Katie White. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All those in favor signify saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Petition, is there a motion to move petition 25P 1636 with corresponding resolution to executive committee for inclusion on the February county board agenda? First by Reed Acree, second by Dean Friel. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Is there a motion to move petition 25P 1637 with corresponding resolutions to the executive committee for inclusion on the February county board agenda? First by Reed Acree, seconded by Ron Gascoigne. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, so then we have one petition going to the planning commission. Petition number 25P. Is there a motion to move petition number 25PC 78 to the executive committee for inclusion on the county board agenda? First by,
Question.
go ahead.
You're saying 25 PC, my
On
thing says
On the
24.
paper,
It
it
is
says
25.
25. It's on board sub,
Oh, okay.
and the
So-
category is incorrect.
There was a little bit of a snafu between me and Alice, so I usually copy the stuff off her report and put it on the agenda. Well, last night I noticed that some of them, so the petition number and what was in the report, one of them had 24 and one had 25. So I corrected them on the executive agenda, but that's why there's some differences, because we got a little confused on the
So
actual.
is the motion that PC 78 correct then?
Yes, so what you
Oh,
have in
this
your
is-
notes is in red, and that's why it's in red is because,
Okay,
yeah, between the two of us, we did a knockout
Good.
job on that.
good catch, Dean. Okay, so is there a motion to move petition number 25 PC 78 to executive committee for inclusion on the February county board agenda? First by Dean Friel, second by Ron Gascoigne. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so is this the one for the flood control, Alice, that you wanted to talk about that we're coming up on?
No, it's actually the one you just,
We just passed.
it just forwarded it. I guess I'm just trying to let the county know that we have prepared a draft for the zoning hearing officer. The language that we've included with that for that hearing would allow for a zoning hearing officer in place of the zoning board of appeals. It also provides a path forward for amending special use petitions that have been previously approved by the county under certain conditions. So I just wanted to let the board know that that is moving through the processes. And if anyone has any questions, I can try to answer those for you.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. So there's one petition coming from the Planning Senate Commission. Is there a motion to move petition number 25 PC 77 to Executive Committee for inclusion on the County Board agenda? First by Ron Gascoigne, second by Dean Friel. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so we're under new business. Resolution amending and animal control fees and fines. Is there a motion to move the resolution amending the animal control fees and fines to Executive Committee for inclusion on the February County Board agenda? First by Reed Acree, seconded by Dean Friel. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Resolution appointing Amy Palmer to the alternative to the Lee County Regional Planning Commission. Is there a motion to move the resolution appointing Amy Palmer as an alternate to the Lee County Regional Planning Commission to the Executive Committee for inclusion on the County Board agenda? First by Dean Friel, second by Ally Huss. Any discussion on this? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I don't see anything for executive session. And I just need a motion for adjournment. First by Ally, seconded by Ron Gascoigne. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passed. Thanks.